Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to talk about one player, and that is going to be about Ansu Fati. Now, the reason why this video is coming out very late, it is because there has been many reports trying to go back and forth saying one thing while the other report was saying another. But now we do have some official confirmation on what exactly is going on with this Ansu Fati recovery phase. Because at the moment, it really does seem like it is not looking good for Ansu Fati, and that is what we are going to do in today's video. I do want to give you guys some clarity just to understand whether Ansu Fati is actually progressing with his injury, yes or no. So for those of you guys who are watching me for the first time, this is what we do. We talk about everything related to FC Barcelona. Welcome to the family, and so let's get to it. So over the past few hours, yes, it's true that many reports have been circulating around the media, and they have been contradicting each other. And many of these stories are making the headlines because Ansu Fati is a very special player, a player that we know is going to be one of the best players in the world in a few years time. Everybody is waiting on Ansu Fati's return, and especially for us, you and me, FC Barcelona fans. And this all started back on November 2020. Ansu Fati's injury was encountered on that month, and ever since until today, we have not yet seen Ansu Fati on the pitch. And throughout that time, right, and I find this so fascinating. It's so fascinating to know that throughout this time that Ansu Fati has been out from the field, he has been either nominated for an award or collecting individual awards, which is something that you do not see in a young player every year. And it is simply because in the year of 2020, it has served Ansu Fati very well. He has been doing a tremendous job for FC Barcelona, not just in 2020, but also in 2019, where he did make his debut. But as we do continue through this year, the date of Ansu Fati returning to the pitch continues to be pushed further back. And that is very concerning because a couple of weeks ago, there were many reports and we were discussing that Ansu Fati could actually make it into the second leg between the two teams of PSG and FC Barcelona for the Champions League, but it never did ended up happening. And we do have a report that did come out earlier today coming from Victor Navarro, who does work with Koeman, and this is what he did state. Medical sources close to the recovery of Ansu Fati have stated that Ansu Fati does not need to enter another surgery. He did not even enter a second surgery at all. He has also explained that Ansu Fati is doing extremely well and that him going into the operating room is a complete lie. Now, here's what I do want to address and to clear up when it comes to this journalist or reporter here, and especially when it does come with Koeman. They are not Barcelona based, they are Madrid based, so they are not the most credible or reliable source when it comes to Barcelona news. So let's completely forget about that report for a second, because moments after, a few hours later, we do have a very reliable source, Javi Miguel, speaking to Onze TV3, and this is what he did have to say about Ansu Fati. The easy solution for Ansu Fati is to remove the meniscus, which is where he did encounter the injury. But at 18 years old, you have to keep the meniscus, yes or yes. Then he continues to say, if Ansu Fati does not have a surgery for the meniscus, he is only going to continue to have more problems later down the road, similar to what happened to Samuel Umtiti. And then he has stated that if he does go through the operation room and he has surgery, then the season for Ansu Fati, which is the 2020-21 season, is going to be completely over. So let's take a step back, right? I want to organize this into three different points just to make this as simple as possible for you guys. There is an easy solution towards this problem with Ansu Fati and his meniscus. He can remove the meniscus and then go onto the field in about 2 weeks and play again. He could do that. But here's going to be the problem. If they remove the meniscus away from Ansu Fati's knee, the meniscus was always there to keep your knee steady by balancing the weight across the knee. That is why it is very important for you to have one. And so if they do remove the meniscus and push Ansu Fati in about 2 weeks or 3 weeks time so he can go back into this season, the problem is that he's not going to grow that meniscus back into his knee. It is not regrowable. And when you do not have that, and you're not going to have that for the rest of your life, there is going to be a lot of problems that are going to be coming with it. It does cause pain within the knee, it gives you stiffness, and especially within the hips and the thumb joints. So it is a very serious problem. Point number two is going to be this. If Ansu Fati does decide to not use any surgery and just completely go through the process of recovering and doing all of these stretches or whatever they do have to do, that is only again going to bring you long-term problems like Samuel Umtiti. Moving on to point number three. Let's say he does take the surgery in about 1 to 2 weeks, whenever they do decide to use the surgery on Ansu Fati. That would basically mean that his season is going to be over, which is going to be the 2020-2021 season. So those are going to be the three official lanes that Ansu Fati is going to have to choose. And so look, I have no idea what's going to happen, what route they're going to be taking, but it does say here that the plan was was for Ansu Fati to resume to training on grass on early April, but his recovery hasn't improved recently. A decision on whether another surgery will be needed could be made in the next 48 hours, and that's going to be the final conclusion. We are going to be hearing the official statement coming from the doctors or whoever is in charge of Ansu Fati's recovery, explaining what's going to be the next steps in order for Ansu Fati's progression to continue to grow, because right now his progression has been completely stalled. There is no such thing as being backtracked within his knee injury. The only thing that did happen is that it did ended up being stalled, and as a player who does want to get back onto the pitch, you do need progression. And here's going to be my thoughts, right? And I hope that this does give you guys more clarity on what's going on, what's going to be his routes, what's true and what's not. I know that there is a lot of contradicting reports out there, but that is what we are here to do in order to have some more clarity on what's going on with this story. But if you were to ask me, right, what should Ansu Fati do if the doctors do say that he does need surgery, because it's just simply going to be the best possible solution? I think that Ansu Fati should really go for it. And I know that many of us do want to see Ansu Fati on the field, but looking at the amount of potential that Ansu Fati does have, I just do not see, and I don't think it would be the smartest idea to force Fati back onto the field only because you do want him to play the remainder games of this season. There is no reason to rush him back, because at 18 years old, the one thing that he does have out of all of the players within this club is time. Ansu Fati does have time. And so if it's going to come down to Ansu Fati missing the rest of this season, that is going to be completely okay, because he can give us another great 12 to 13 seasons moving forward with FC Barcelona. And you look at this map that I have created, combining the amount of assists and goals that he has contributed on the field, this is a player that Barcelona currently do need, and they would be highly benefiting from this player at the moment, but they do not have this right now. There are players such as Antoine Griezmann, Lionel Messi, Dembele, who are as a collective trying to contribute within the box. Ansu Fati at this time right now would have been a very dangerous player inside the box. He is a player that does have instinct for goal. It's unfortunate that Barcelona cannot take advantage of this in this season, but I do trust Ronald Koeman, because the way that Koeman has constructed this team and adapt this team from the absences like Sergio Roberto, Felipe Coutinho, Ansu Fati. There was a moment where Gerard Piqué was not there. The fact that Koeman has adapted this team into a monster and what it is today, I do think that even without Ansu Fati, whether we do know that Ansu Fati does make Barcelona much stronger, Koeman does have what it takes to make this Barcelona team very competitive, regardless if Ansu Fati is there, yes or no. But those are going to be the recent updates for this player. Whatever does happen within the next 48 hours, we are going to be talking about it here in this YouTube channel. So make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.